Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Orthodoxy Transforming. In this podcast, we will examine something new to meditate upon. Nothing is as it seems. This is mind-bending, but ultimately liberating. Let's rehearse some of our knowledge. Everything is temporary, therefore nothing is permanent. That is the first major spiritual truth. Everything is in flux, therefore nothing is stable, as we have been trained to think that everything is stable. We are taught that everything obeys a law and all kinds of descriptions that we have assigned to it. But since everything is in flux, there can never really be a law, can there? There can only be a probability of what will happen next, based on what observers thought they saw happen in the past. Now let's look at something else to meditate about. Not only is everything temporary, and not only is everything not as it appears, because everything is in various and different states of flux, but, and this is a third truth, a third great spiritual truth, the things around us themselves are not what they appear. The things around us are not what they appear. Look around. See a table, look at a chair. Think about it. Is it really a table? We call it a table. We use it as a table. Most likely, the whole world would agree that the table you are looking at is, in fact, a table. However, spiritual people do not listen to the wisdom of the whole world, but they trust their own intuitions and cognitions. Now, back to the table. Now, listen very carefully, because this truth I'm about to share is so important and so obvious that you shouldn't miss it. Listen to my exact words as you look at a table or some other object you have selected for this particular waking meditation. Here are the words. The table is entirely made up of non-table parts. I'm going to say that again. The table is made entirely of non-table parts. Listen once again. For this small truth, added to the rest of what you are experiencing toward your spiritual goals, will help change the way you see everything. And remember, changing the way you see everything is the very heart of spirituality. The table is made up entirely of non-table parts. All of the non-table parts put together we call a table. Therefore, the table does not exist by itself. It exists because we have chosen to call the assembly of all those non-table parts a table. This is a very important step in your progress of spirituality. And believe me, it's no small semantic issue. We are imagining that we look at a table that is a table all by itself. However, it cannot be a table by itself. It is a table because we, for convenience sake, call the assembly of all the non-table parts a table. The same is true for a car. A car is made up totally of non-car parts. Therefore, there is only a car because we say so. Otherwise, we would have to say, there is no car, only a pile of parts that function in a way that we call a car. So rather than to say that long sentence each time, we simply say, look, there's a car. Why is this important? Because it totally exposes that nothing in the world is as it seems. This is very important for spiritual insight and growth. We have seen that things are temporary and lack permanence. We have seen and meditated upon the fact that since everything is impermanent, it only appears to have lasting value, which of course is a deception, an illusion, or perhaps even a delusion that we have been taught from childhood. Now we see that even the things that do not last forever, and not only do they only have an appearance of stability, but now in this podcast we have seen that the things we see in the universe have no independent existence, although they certainly appear to have an independent existence. Look at yourself. Look in the mirror. I dare you. Get up. Go look at a mirror. Now, imagine this. You are made totally up of not you parts. You are not your cells. You are not your blood. Your blood is made up of not you minerals. You are made up of not you water. The breath you breathe is not you. Therefore, you see that even you are not as you appear to be. You have no independent existence. You have absolutely no independent existence from everything else. You did not originate yourself. You do not control your metabolism. You do not even control your rate of breathing, unless you really think about it during meditation. Spirituality begins with observation, opening our eyes to profound but totally obvious visible truths. Now we must move on to the ramifications of these truths that we have seen so far. Before we discuss the ramifications of these truths that have been in front of our eyes since the day we were born, let's take a good long look about meditation in the next podcast.